Let go.
Welcome, you guys. We're going live now because the situation is shaping up here for the Trojans. They're in a dogfight, and these limited number of possessions you're going to have, Preston. It's going to be crazy. By the way, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Preston and I here watching the game. Hey, let's go live. So Preston's here helping me out. Preston, you want to talk about your channel real quick before this play gets hit up?
Yes, guys. Preston's Paradise on YouTube. My name is Fight on Preston on Twitter as well. Put out a bunch of content on USC from the future, the present, and the past, and just kind of give my opinions on what's going on the field and off. And happy to be here with you guys on the Voice of College Football, and my boy Tim here for the first time. So we're gonna talk about the ending of this game against Minnesota, and talk about how this game has unfolded in the next hour.
Yeah.
Or so.
Gabe and I over at Trojan Blade, big fans of Preston. Asked them to come on with me just to jump in and do a post-game show for you guys. Looks like there's gonna be a big third down right here, 3rd and 1. Preston and I were just talking about that, and I don't know if you guys caught that kickoff. Really bizarre. EMA got Easton Mascarenas Arnold got called on that, called for unnecessary roughness on that tackle. Yeah. Really,
I've never seen that called before. I don't think I've ever seen that call, and I see those tackles on a weekly basis. So, like, dude, we're playing football. The guy tackled him. Like, I just feel like everything nowadays is going for the offensive player. Like, am I supposed to let this guy run me over? Or, like I have to make a tackle on the play? Like, I don't like that call at all.
It was a weird call and weird timing. And then also on that pass interference, it looked a hell of a lot to me like that Jalen Smith, who had the inside and was looking back for the ball, was actually being held by the Minnesota guy by the wrist. And, they want to call hand checking. Yeah, they let it go the whole game. And all of a sudden, the referees decided to insert themselves at the end of the game. But here you go. Big 3rd and goal right here. Stop here is going to be a lot better for USC. If they get a stop here, force a field goal, that gives the ability. I like a lot better with Lance hitting that 54-yard field goal. I like that odds a lot better getting to the 40-yard line than having to get all the way.
I don't see him in there.
Nope. No, looks like the line just coming from the side. Looks like
I don't see it.
4th down.
Yeah, that's a 4.
They held him. They've been successful on that a couple of times, but USC finally got on the right side of that one. Big call here. I'll tell you what, though. I say they go for it. I think Fleck's going to go for it. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they've been so desperate. I mean, it seems like everybody be playing this conference. Like, when I'm at the Michigan, I'm like, first series of the game, you guys are going for it on 4th down. Like, they've constantly trying to go for it on 4th down. So
they've been really successful on this play. I mean, I think they're going to go for it and just try to get the touchdown. It would be a really great call because then you back USC up on their own goal line if you don't get it. But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You kick the field goal. I know that Fleck's thinking about USC. You're thinking about Miller Moss and those wide receivers. You're also thinking about the fact how quickly they can move the ball. Mm-hmm. A field goal is a safe call. But the way the success they've had with that tush push thing that they've been doing from like the 1-yard line has been something special. At this point, though, I wouldn't be shocked if they give them on the further review in that big pile, they give them a touchdown. But I think there's no way I believe they're going to be able to overturn this with any evidence with that human pile that was in front there.
Yeah, man, come on, man. There's no way. Yeah, he's stuffed. There's no way. Unless we're just going to dream about what could have been. I mean, that's not a touchdown in my eyes, but we'll see, man. This new Big Ten, you never know what to expect.
Yeah, thank you guys all for being here. Again, it's going to be a great finish either way. USC is going to definitely get the ball back because they had their timeout. So regardless here, even if they don't get it, the clock's going to stop on the change of possession. Or if they score, obviously, USC's get the ball on the kick. So we're hoping here for a field goal because I have a lot of faith in the fact that Michael Lance was able to hit that 54. Well, first he hit that 49-yarder and they got the timeout. And then he walks back out there and hits that 54-yarder on top of that. Just truly a nails kick for him by the end of the half.
I marked that down. That's on my big plays of the game, man. Him knocking that 49 and getting the timeout, going back like a boss, coming in there and knocking the 54-yarder down. That was something that we haven't seen last couple of years. So I love to see it.
Well, listen, you guys. So we're going to finish the end of this game up, and then we're going to open. We're going to have a little conversation between Preston and myself, just talking about the game. And then we're going to open up the phone calls. Don't start calling now because you're going to be sitting on hold for a while. I mean, we're going to talk about the game a little bit afterwards for at least 20, 30 minutes. But then we are going to take phone calls either way. We're going to see a great finish for USC or we're going to have some therapy. One of the way or the other, we're going to have something to talk about at the end of this game.
Let's get a win, baby.
And by the way, so really quickly, I'm not terrible about this. There's 208 of you guys on right now. If you guys want to go ahead, please hit that like button. It really helps us out, get more people in here. Also in the chat, you guys go ahead and get into the chat. Let us know your thoughts on the game. We'd love to hear from you. Hang on a second.
I'd like to see the chat. I don't know if I can.
Oh, you can't see it. You know what, Preston? Pull it up on
YouTube.
Right? On YouTube, yeah. But make sure you mute it. Make sure you mute YouTube.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So we got some people that are really down on the defense.
Yeah, man, it's we gotta figure it out. Gotta figure it out. Absolutely, definitely got some stuff to figure out.
Yeah, the throws that are running, they're really successful at throwing to the running backs in the flat. I mean, that was one thing that was just killing. We could not stretch sideline to sideline. That was, Harbaugh came in with a plan, and I think he wanted to stretch the field because USC was pretty lucky early on that some of those plays didn't break for more because they set up the blocking outside really well.
Yeah, they really did, and they were getting their offensive linemen getting out in front, and our backers were being washed out a bit on those runs, and the outside, the edges were a little soft. But I mean, they've done a great job scheming up. And I watched the North Carolina game, and they had to guard some of those wide receivers over there in North Carolina. So I was not maligning their defense too much.
Well, Taylor at one point in the fourth quarter had double the offensive output of the rest of his teammates.
He was averaging 7.6 yards a carry, I believe, around that in the first half of the game.
Oh, when you bust a nice big explosive like he did on that one play, like you said, linebacker got kind of washed out that play, big hole. And tell you what, I'm glad to see that Trojans finally have learned how in the Big Ten they've learned how to do Big Ten holding. I mean blocking. I mean holding. What is it? Is there a difference between holding and blocking? Because I like it now because actually I've seen it, guys. The Trojans are holding like mad in this game, and it's not being called. So this looks like it's just a thing. So you guys get ready. In the Big Ten, there is no such thing as holding.
But you can't tackle. You can't body slam somebody though. So I don't really know how they. I don't really know how they're doing this thing over here in the Big Ten. But it is what it is. I thought we were playing rough.
We're losing our mind to get that Michigan game going. Geez, holy. But again, I'm watching Trojans holding like mad. No, I mean either way. Also Minnesota, same thing.
Let's get it, baby.
I think this is just how it's done.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
I don't know.
It looks like he's in.
Yeah, it looks like he's in. Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Side judge. Hang on. Rosberg got knocked sideways. He got knocked sideways.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
And they're not signaling.
They put it up. They took it off. They put up the points and they took him away.
Look, they're standing there. I mean, Brosser got knocked sideways. Unless they have something on camera that he got across the plane. But Brosser did get knocked sideways.
First down USC. Let's go. Sorry about that.
Wow.
Don't get too loud.
I mean, that's a gutsy call, Preston, for Fleck to do. You play it safe, you kick the field goal, and you think, okay, we're giving them a minute. Oh, is this something he's seeing? I hope there's no footage. I mean, they're obviously reviewing it right now. They're going to review the play.
Yeah.
There's Brosner. He gets it. He has the ball. You can't really see where
the ball. That's
you can't see where the ball is. You can't see the ball. You never see the ball. He gets knocked sideways. It's not going to be overturned.
Yeah, you can't.
That's
see
the
ball.
problem.
That's the problem. Yeah.
You can't see where he has the ball, and that's the problem with that. That play is just a big pile of humanity, and unless you could see a ball, it has to be. It was called short on the field, so they're going to have to prove that it didn't get over. Now, there's a good chance
penetration all night.
There's a pretty good chance that ball did get over the plane, but if they can't see it getting over.
Yeah.
I mean, they watched it. Oh well, hold on. If they piece it together, that was a pretty good view right there.
No face, no case, man. I don't see nothing.
I'm good with that.
I don't see it.
You guys in the chat, what do you think? Touchdown or no?
Yeah.
In the chat, do you guys think that was a touchdown or no? If they piece it together, is the only way I could possibly see.
Wow, this guy's losing his mind.
Holy moly! Well, that's PJ Fleck.
Yeah, I think they might have gave it to him. I don't know what's going on.
I don't believe it either. Great. Hey, listen, great stop by the defense. They got burned on this tush push a bunch of times. Well, a couple of times in the first half. But, man, they came up strong.
Man, let's get it, man. This is winning time, man. This is winning time.
I don't know, real talk. Did you just watch that? Our defense just stopped them from the 1 yard like twice, and you're saying they deserve to lose? I don't know if I can agree with that comment, man. That's called a goal line stand. And teams that have defenses that have goal line stands don't deserve to lose. Oh shoot. They did overturn it.
Yeah, they reversed it. Yeah.
I just caught that.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe he was ahead of me.
Hey, so it's not over, guys. It's not over.
Okay, you got a minute left. No timeouts. You're probably looking at you're looking at a Hail Mary at some point here.
Oh Lord. Well, okay, yeah, we got.
What they did, Preston, is they had to piece it together. They had to grab.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no. Damn, I mean, regardless, I mean, we're playing shorthanded here. I think the defensive line has gotten a lot of penetration and opportunistic times throughout the game. They did it about as best as they could on that last play. So.
Yeah, on that one angle they showed Brosner, they did show him. Looked like you couldn't tell he broke the plane, but it did show he leaned forward and where the ball was, and he had the ball up high. So having that view of the ball up high and then piecing together where he got into that pile, they were able to put the two together in order to get him the touchdown. So Trojans are looking for a miracle here if you want USC to come out of this game with the win. But like I've been saying all week, for a couple of weeks now, these slow starts the Trojans are having and thinking that the defense has come save them and bail them out. I said at some point it's going to bite them in the ass. And if you go back and you look at what I said about the keys to the game, I said keep Miller clean. For the most part, they did, but he has been harassed. That huge, well, might as well say it's a sack because that huge grounding call on their last drive that really just kind of killed their drive. And then take care of the ball. I mean, I really love the way the running backs were moving the ball, but you have those fumbles and then you have the interception. You can't really win a game playing like that and turn the ball over on the road, especially when possessions were at such a premium in this game.
Absolutely.
I mean, they really were.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't come out slow, especially when your defense is thinning, right? We had a good defense. It's gotten a lot thinner. So now especially we can't fool around early on in games, man. You got to take whatever you can get on the road in this conference. And it's been an interesting game. Let's see if these guys.
Let's see if they can pull it out, guys. I mean, the odds are stacked against them, but you got some. They're going to be in a prevent. You know, they got to play the sidelines. You guys remember, it's college football that the first downs are going to stop the clock.
Yeah.
But USC really has backed themselves into a hole. So they got about 56 seconds left to go. 75 yards for the game tying touchdown.
Yeah.
Guys, if you are here, please do me a favor. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to hit the chat, I do want to hear from you guys in the chat, but you do need to subscribe. So hit that subscribe button and join us and join in the chat. I think you're ahead of me.
I got a little bit of pressure, man. I'm gonna keep my. Oh man.
LV, nice to see you here. Well, how you only score 17 points is you have your wide receiver drop the ball on a critical third down on a drive, and then miss a field goal, and then you're driving in plus territory. And again, it was a great tackle. There was a hat on the ball, which had the ball skirt loose. 3rd and 10 for the Trojans. Still 36 seconds left, but now they're getting in trouble. They're going to need a first down. They're going to need to stop the clock. But yeah, I mean, LV, I hear you. Execution is game. There still are issues on that offensive line. There's no way to sugarcoat that. I've got no volume, Preston. I'm just kind of watching. So
yeah, there's
I got to be careful because I don't want us to get shut down if it's any
unsportsmanlike on D.
That's crazy. Yeah, I saw the call.
I'll take it.
The thing is SC's got to get a touchdown, unfortunately. 46 seconds left. You just got to start going. They don't have to, with 46 seconds left, they don't have to play the sidelines yet, but they do need to get some chunk plays. You really want to get in and give Miller a real shot at this. In order to do that, you got to get inside the 35-yard line. Yeah, so you got about maybe 40 seconds to get inside that 35, give Miller a shot or two at the end zone.
Big catch by Deuce Robinson.
First down, Deuce. Nice. Yeah, they're going to be playing loose, you guys. So
nice.
Clock is going to stop to reset the chains.
I like it.
So realistically, they're going to need to get probably at least 20 yards here, 15 yards here to get a couple shots at the end zone.
Oh. Trying to squeeze
nice
it in.
Play. Nice breakup. But clock stops. Again, you still got three downs. Right now, downs aren't your issue. Now the clock's becoming the issue for the Trojans.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, they've done a good job on Jacoby. Oh.
So a lot of guys, you can see the chatter down on the O-line. But really, this goes back to you guys, so I didn't get to my third stat. My third one is the key was to get out to a quick start. And I thought we were getting out of that quick start. Oh, get rid of the ball, Miller.
Incomplete.
All right. So really, I mean, what I want to see is something. You can even go over the middle. You can even go over the middle here. You got about 23 seconds. Pick up about 15, 20 yards right here, and then give yourself a legitimate shot at the end zone.
Yeah.
So you're not heaving it up.
Maybe a little misdirection, a little tricky.
It's third down. They're going to have two plays regardless. But I'd like to see them pick up the first down here. Yeah, maybe some kind of crosser or something, just where you can get branch out the chance in open field to make a tackle.
There we go. Makai the 30.
There we go.
Get out of bounds. Good job.
All right. Okay, 15 seconds.
You
legitimately have two shots at the end zone. Maybe three if you do a quick out and give yourself a closer look at the end zone. Great play call by Riley.
Yeah, I like that. I gave him a lot of space.
Okay, so you're about the 28-yard line? 28-yard line, 15 seconds, 2 to 3 plays.
Oh, nice end zone interception.
Oh, geez. There you go. They went for it all on one play, and that's the game, folks. So Trojans are good to go to Minnesota, and PJ Fleck, rowing the boat, is going to get the upset over the Trojans. Trojans dropping to 1-2 in the Big Ten. And what is your first thoughts when we were talking before, and I didn't see this outcome when we turned this thing on. But what are your initial thoughts just about the game? So let's go back to the very beginning of the game, Preston. For the game, I said, USC's had these slow starts. They really on the road. You want to get out, take the crowd out of the game, get to a situation where maybe you can change the way they want to run their offense. But USC for third week in a row gets out to a sluggish start. What are your thoughts about the beginning of the game?
My thoughts about the beginning of the game is just maturity, man. I was really hoping, I thought we had two very good tests this year. One against LSU to start the season, and then that Michigan game going on into a loud, hostile environment. And I was really looking to see a lot of growth up front from the big boys up front. And I think Miller came out dialed in, super sharp, hitting everybody. But we had that drop on the first series, and then we struggled at times on defense also throughout the first half, getting off of blocks and making tackles, whether that be in the offensive line or the linebackers. I think we just kind of got a little out of whack in that first half and missed a lot of opportunities, man, that were right in our hands. Had a couple false starts, penalties that set us back. And, it's tough to get out of that hole when you start early like that. So – this year we've had a good second half team, but it's not always going to work like that. Not always going to work. Got to make the most out of your opportunities when you have them. So I think. Yeah,
I agree, Preston. You give opportunities to teams. Hey, let's say this is the same team that fought back and really should have had an opportunity against Michigan. They got jobbed out of that onside kick. So I'm sure that they had a lot to fight. They were probably came in this game pretty pissed off. They had, I don't know why on earth they're I guess they're on the field. That's fine. Maybe it's a Minnesota thing, but they had opportunities in this game. But if you let teams stick around, I guess especially a team like Minnesota, who showed last week that they can upset teams, and really they should have had that opportunity. They were coming on strong, big comeback in the second half against the Wolverines. A crazy bad call on that onside kick. Otherwise, they might be looking at 2 really big wins in a row. But to allow a team like this, that's as resilient as they are, to stay in the game, that's the recipe to lose games. So the slow start. Let's talk about the slow start. The first, earlier in the game, we talked about that, Preston. The fact that there was a drop ball early on a crucial third down.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been a little critical of Zach Branch this year. I'm still high on Zach Branch. I truly am. I feel like he's an extraordinary weapon that makes plays without making plays. If you can kind of catch my drift, just by the attention that he draws on week in and week out. And my thing with Zach Branch is I feel like he's pressing. I feel like sometimes our receivers are pressing to make catches or score touchdowns. I just hope he's having fun. Like Zach hasn't looked like he's been having fun this year, in my personal opinion. And you can't do that, man. You can't fumble the ball. You can't throw picks if you're going to win these games on the road in the Big Ten. It's a recipe that's never going to work for this team. No matter how much talent we have, no matter how much speed we have outside, or how great the play calling is, the coaches are, you can't give up the ball and miss those easy opportunities to continue to shoot yourselves in the foot. So you got to get better.
And then also, we talked earlier, and I talked to Gabe over at Trojans of Blade. USC was running the ball very well in this game. USC was running the ball. It seemed like it was, in the second half, when they took the ball down and just drove the ball and scored, primarily on the ground, doing a lot of good groundwork. And then in the second drive, it looked like they couldn't stop us. It seemed like really early in this game, the only thing that could stop USC was USC. Again, drop balls, fumbles, missed field goals was what was keeping Minnesota in the game. But late in the game, Minnesota turned it on and really started dialing up the pressure and giving USC a lot of trouble. And so, again, these are the issues you have when you go on the road and you don't take care of business early in the game. And so you lead to a loss. Really quickly, guys, we are going to open up the phone calls. Phone calls will be starting in probably about 15 minutes. So then into the second half, they're just showing the replay again of the Miller and Moss. Miller, I'm not sure on Miller's decision making on that. He threw right into triple coverage on that last ball to Deuce. I mean, I guess if you're going to throw it up like that to anyone, you're going to go up to Deuce and hope he can bring that ball down.
Yeah.
But what is that? 4 turnovers on the game, I believe. Correct? 2 interceptions.
Yeah, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble, I believe.
Oh, one fumble.
I'm pulling up the stats. I'm gonna try to post some stats.
So in a game like this on the road, where it's going to be a dogfight, and the biggest thing is, guys, get used to this. The number of possessions in this game. I mean, USC had one, if I'm correct, 1 possession in the third quarter, and then really they had 2 possessions. There's only about 7 minutes left in the second half. So when there is a premium on possessions in the game, every one of those possessions have to count. USC was crushing all you guys out there that really make a big deal about time of possession. Yeah. USC was destroying time of possession in this game as well. So, a lot of answers got to be made. And one of the biggest one has to be is why is there that lack? My question is why is there such a lack of energy early on? Let's back away from the Drano guys. I'm not sure if Matt's a Trojan fan. I'm assuming he's not. But there's no need to even start talking about firing at this point.
No. I wouldn't do that. I mean, that's the thing that sucks, right? I mean, we have more total yards, but I mean, we got those 3 turnovers. Minnesota only turned the ball over 1 time. This is a great game for Woody Mark. 20 carries, 134 yards on the ground. I think Miller had a solid game. I mean, he threw 2 picks, so those were costly, obviously, but. Oh, man, that's a tough one, man.
Woody, what I like about Woody, early on, I was getting a bit frustrated with Woody. It seemed like he wasn't allowing the blocks to set up for him, just like he was kind of pressing a little bit. But then as the game got going, he's a veteran back. He kind of let, Quentin was doing a much better job early in the game on letting the blocks set up and then running the ball. Quentin was having himself a game until he had that fumble.
Quentin Jordan had 4 carries for 44 yards. He was averaging 11 yards a clip like that. He was balling until that fumble happened.
And so again, slow start, take care of the ball, make sure and then again keep Miller clean. All those things really that I said kind of led to this loss because letting a team like this who's shown resiliency to come back was pretty much the downfall. So you guys go ahead, hit us up in the chat. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat. Also, the phone lines are open. Phone number 888-997-4539. Give us a call. Let us know what you think about the game. So we'll start off. First caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going? This is Johnny Velasco. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm calling you right now from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, okay. So you're local. Okay. Awesome. So what are your thoughts on the game?
So while you were speaking, I actually made notes because I do better with my venting, with my frustration when I make notes. So I want to share a couple of things here. My game review. This year I went to Vegas versus LSU, then against Michigan, and now I'm sitting here in the hotel room in Minneapolis after I left the game during halftime. Yeah, you could call me a bad sportsmanship or a fake Trojan fan, but my frustration with this team is on another level. The offense is not meshing, too many drop balls. The offensive line is still having issues. Honestly, I believe that some of the wins we have is due to the defense making important stops. The second half adjustments on the defense stands out, and I believe they are the reason the offense is able to have more opportunity that they weren't able to capitalize on the initial opportunity that they had. USC is more than likely to have more than 2 losses before the season is done. Penn State and Rutgers look good, even Nebraska. I just want to see this team put a consistent 60 minutes of football on both sides of the ball and not just be a second half team. And to finish off with all that, I believe Lincoln is sometimes his worst enemy with his own calls. I believe that he has 2 above average running backs. I like to see Quentin Joyner run the ball. I feel like he's almost like an Isaiah Pacheco from the Chiefs. With every footstep, he has a purpose. He runs, he fights for that yard. So I just don't see what the team is not acknowledging, what the coaches are not acknowledging. I understand once again that we have offensive line issues, but we are so on the edge of our seats when we watch them play because we can be up and then we'll let our guard down and they'll come back. It's just back and forth, and but yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
Yeah, no, Juan, I could hear the disappointment in your voice. I would say that I agree with you on the season. On the season, there were a lot of drop balls, but I did not catch many drop balls in this game. Now there was a very crucial one, but a game's not decided on one play. As far as the going on the road, but by the way, fight on, man. You're absolutely representing this team. You're traveling a lot, traveling more than I am. I mean, I went to Michigan, sure. I went to Vegas, but I didn't go out for this one. It's tough on the road. I mean, I'm not making excuses for this team whatsoever, and I'm not. And this team came out flat again. They came out flat again because they looked like they were moving the ball well, just like last week. Remember, last week they scored a touchdown on their first possession, took a right down, scored a touchdown, but that was at home. It seems like this one really, from that drop pass on, it just didn't seem like USC could really get on track. And I don't know what it's going to take, Preston, to get them to come out to start a game and to be ready to go. Because I'm going to tell you guys, even though it's at home next week against Penn State, if they come out flat like this, if they're dropping balls, if the ends are getting beat, the tackles are getting beat, constantly like they were in this game and like they were last game and the game before, it's going to be a long day for the Trojans. The Nittany Lions will be feasting on them. So, Preston, what do you think SC has to do in order to just change this momentum, this mojo about them starting games so slowly?
Yeah, man, it will get ugly early if things do not get fixed. They got to do anything they can at this point to motivate the guys to really understand the sense of urgency like to save the rest of the season. The season isn't over. It's still early on in the season.
Yep.
But in this conference, I mean, we could get eaten up. There's no cakewalks left from here on out. You know, you got Washington, you got Rutgers, got Penn State, Nebraska. Your pride is on the line. And I was talking about this on Twitter earlier. Like, you got to step up, pride on the line. You know, do it for your family, do it for you know, the Trojans, do it for the school and this program. And you got to, you know, make something happen, because we can't continue to play ball like this. You're not going to be able to win another game if you keep coming out like this against these teams.
Yep. You guys tell me in the chat, what's your secret sauce? What do you think we could do? What is the recipe to getting USC on track to begin the beginning of the game? Let me know in the chat, you guys. You know, what do you think USC? What the issue is? I know it's a focus. I mean, Lincoln Riley at the press conference after even the win, you know, which we're all excited about against Wisconsin, talked about and brought up to him as well about the slow start. But he started out talking about it, and it's become an issue. It's as much as this team's a second half team, and that's great on defense. And we were talking about the adjustments. I talked about it on the show this week. I said, SC is going to get snake bit if they keep trying to play this game. Listen, Juan, do you have any more thoughts for us? Because we're stacking up in the call queue. Anything else you want to add? Appreciate you calling in.
No, that was it. I appreciate you guys hearing me out. I've been fight on.
All right, man. Hey, listen, there's a long season left. You got to fight on, and don't worry. SC is going to be fine. We're moving in the right direction. All right, guys. So if you guys want to call in, 888-997-4539, 888-99-Riley. Give Preston and I a call. Let us know your feelings. Also, in the chat, you guys, sound off in the chat. You come with something. You give me something to talk about in the chat. We will talk about it. So, you know, if your question, if you have an issue, if you have an answer to, again, why are they starting so slow and how can they speed this up? If you got an answer to maybe an offensive line shakeup, let us know in the chat and give us a call. Caller, hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tim, what's going on, man? Fight on from the East Coast. LV Live. How you guys doing tonight?
I've been better, LV. I got to tell you, this was a gut punch. This one was a gut punch. Did not see it coming. Did not see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's 11. Yeah, me neither. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, man. I mean, my Yankees won, so I'm happy. But Tim, this is Tim. Preston, man. How you doing, man? Fight on. Hey, listen, this is our coaching, Tim. There's no way, Tim, how you're able to prove yourself in football. It's not the home game. This is when you go on the road. That's when you find out who you really are. That's how you're supposed to come closer together as a team, and you're able to do and kind of block out the noise, family, friends, everybody back at home where it's comfortable, and it's just a brotherhood on the road to where we can lock in. Everybody's against us on the road, and that's when you really find out who you have. Tim, for them getting out on these slow starts, that's all coaching. Like that's just preparation, getting guys mentally. Now, you know, of course, you know, guys have drops. Sometimes it's holding calls or, you know, guys, you know, not blocking the edge, like things that have interceptions, turnovers. But to be mentally tough is what's going to get you through this game. It ain't just a skill set. And to me, that's where I think I'm seeing the disconnect. I thought the defense played good today. They only gave up really technically 17 points, but the offense can't get going. Who was the offense?
You know what?
The head guy. Now, I don't think anybody should say like fire Riley. Like that's crazy. Don't fire the guy.
LV, hang on.
That's
LV,
to me where I see the issue.
LV, you're on a roll. Hold on. Let's go back because I don't want to forget this. This is why you brought up a great point. I want to go back to it. The defense has been playing well, but the defense just gave up almost 200 yards to the 17th before this game. They were on, as far as rushing is concerned, you know, average rushing per carry, the 17th, the second to last rushing team in the conference.
Yeah.
You know, that to me, although they didn't give up a lot of points, they kept USC off the field. You know what I mean? They kept USC off the field in the second half. And big part of that was unfortunately, either it was a swing pass or it was running the ball. The defense could not get the off because the offense has to be on the field to score. And you know, a couple stops here or there. I mean, it didn't seem like USC was racking up a lot of stops like we expected them to have. So I'm sorry. Carry on.
No. I mean, Tim, that's a great point. But Tim, the offense isn't sustaining drives tonight. Like they're getting turnovers here. Like I think you're making valid points, Tim. but I think it's on both ends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so this to me, I don't think this should have been a 38-24 victory or 17 victory. That's how well our offense is moving the ball. But somewhere we're having a disconnect. Mentally, we're not connected. Like you said, the drop passes. Zach doesn't look like himself. He doesn't. So to me, there's something going on there. And you got to look at the head guy. Now, yes, once again, I have to stress this. Let's stop with the Fire Riley stuff. That's not the answer.
That's just stupid. Be honest,
what I'm saying is that, right, absolutely. But what I'm saying is that, Tim, to your point, there's a disconnect because even last week on a home game, they just didn't have it in the beginning. So you're saying, okay, man, what's going on in the locker room? Like, what's going on? Because now you got the defense. The defense is solid enough, but if the offense isn't moving and they're only scoring 17 points, it was 17-10. So what the heck happened? I mean, hey, look, that's all I have to say. Listen, we just got to get back to square one. But one thing Preston did state, I want to give him props on this too, was that the defense is shorthanded. Man, guys are dropping like flies. You got Gentry out, you got Bear out, you got Rajon out. You know what I mean? So there's a couple of pieces there that just aren't available. So that could play a part in it too. But hey, man, we just got to look, man. Got to bite down and use that word "fight on," man, because that's what we're going to need to get through this season. Great show, guys. I'm out of here. Get to the rest of callers, Tim. Fight on from the East Coast, my guy. Take care.
Fight on, LB. Yeah, I mean, again, great call. It's hard for me to argue with any of that stuff. One thing I'll say is they are missing their leading tackler, their linebacker. His name's escaping me. But, you know, it wasn't like they came into the game not banged up as well. And injuries are part of football. We all know that. Just like bizarre penalties towards the end of the game. We can talk about later on as well. Towards the end of the game, you know, you keep your flag in your pocket the whole game, and then all of a sudden you start calling on both sides some pretty bizarre penalties. Yeah, that part of this game was weird. It was like almost penalty free through like, I don't know, 50 minutes of the game. Then all of a sudden the last 10 minutes, like flags start coming out. Pretty bizarre to me. But again, listen, give Minnesota their flowers. They are a team that took Michigan to the wire. They got screwed there. And I said it this week. I said, if we let this team hang around, they're scrappy and they might come and steal one from SC. So, hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Tim. It's Adam calling from Georgia. How's it going?
Good, Adam. Nice to hear from you. How you doing?
Yeah, great to talk to you. I'll be brief so you can get to other callers. I'm just going to make 2 points. First, I'm going to reiterate what I've said for a while. We should have never, ever entered the Big Ten. We've got 3 cross-country road trips. Now we've got Maryland coming up, and it is not going to serve us well. Jen Cohen made a terrible decision. Well, Carol Folt did, and Jen Cohen's approving it was terrible. And this is what we're going to see. Now we've got to go to Maryland, across the country yet again, and we've got Nebraska and Penn State. It's going to be brutal schedules every year. The second point is our offensive line. My gosh, I don't know what to say. They're giving Moss no time, and I don't know how to fix that. But I hope that we get out of the Big Ten sooner rather than later, and I hope we make some improvements because we're a good team, but we're not good in the trenches right now.
All right, Adam. Listen, I can agree with you. I don't think we're very good on the offensive line right now. I think that you have
the offensive side. I meant sorry.
Yeah, we got some young guys, and their SC is being forced to play some young guys. And you know what? They're getting exposed. It's happening. But we also have a veteran. We have some veterans that are also not. I'm not just going to blame the young guys. There's other guys also on that line. I am not going to call out players by name, but we all know that the guys that are struggling on the line right now, most of them are struggling on the line. And we just really need to see the Trojans figure this thing out. You know, playing on a line is not individual. It's not an individual situation. They play as a unit. And so if it's breaking down, it's only as strong as its weakest link. So they're getting beat on the outside still. That's the case. Earlier, they're getting blown up the middle. Some of those handoffs, between the linemen are starting to get cleaned up on the inside, but it seems like we're still getting beat on the outside to me. I mean, I'm going to have to rewatch the game again. And also remember, you've said this before. I don't want to correct you, but and by the way, I don't agree with you. If we didn't join the Big Ten, we'd be playing Mountain West teams with Washington State and Oregon State right now. We would be the king of the crap conference, is what would be happening. And just even if you don't like the move, remember it was Bone who actually made the decision. But I think it's quite frankly, it was the right decision. Jennifer Cohen came in after Bone was dismissed, and the decision had already been made. But I'm telling you, Adam, I believe 99 out of 100 ADs are making that switch and joining the Big Ten. I know you don't like the travel, but and I know it's not a good thing. But remember, it's not like we're doing back-to-back or long road trips. It's like it's a road game, and then they come back for a week. So it's every 2 weeks you're getting on a plane and on a chartered flight, going to a nice hotel, getting picked up by a bus and dropped off at a stadium. I mean, I don't know how taxing that really is. Now, there has been some questions about when they're arriving, acclimation, etc., how they deal with that kind of that walkthrough and what's going on before, from the time they arrive in Minneapolis to the time the game starts. All that could be reconsidered. But again, what I've heard is that Riley talked to I believe he talked to the Chargers, the Rams, and some other pro team about the logistics of travel, because obviously pro teams know all about that travel. But Adam, a great call. Appreciate you calling in as always. Absolute great call. Sorry to see Rutgers go down as well. Thanks, today. Tim.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, they did, unfortunately. But thanks for taking my call, buddy.
You got it. So you guys could check out Adam Lamparello on the Rutgers channel here at the Voice of College Football as well. Thank you, Adam, for calling in. Appreciate your call. Gigster Squid, I don't know if you were here in the very beginning, but when Preston and I were like watching the game, right, Preston?
Yeah.
We said, look, it doesn't look like that pile of humanity. You can see it. But then they showed one shot, the shot that, that one shot that I was worried about, where they could piece it together. And it was like a 45-degree angle shot that showed Brosner kind of where the ball was being held up high. See, when you can't see where the ball is, then that's the question. But they pieced together where he had the ball and then also his forward progress, and then he got knocked sideways. I think if they were able to piece it together from where he was holding the ball and how much momentum he did make, because you could see that, but you just couldn't see the ball. If you piece the two together like they do, then they got your touchdown. So I hope that helps out. It doesn't take the sting. Yeah, Preston, of course. It doesn't take the sting away, but I hope that explains why.
Yeah, just want to make a comment on Adam. Respect to Adam about his worries about joining the Big Ten. It's not like we're going into these Big Ten games like getting absolutely destroyed, right? These are very winnable. These have been winnable games against the national champions of last year, and now we're going in on the road against Minnesota. These were winnable games. Catch the ball, make a block, recognize a blitz.
Take care of the ball.
Take care of the ball. You're gashing them down the Quentin Joyner, 11 yards of carry, gashing them. Ball pops out. You know what I'm saying? These were winnable games, Adam. That's all I'm saying. That'd be my comment to you about the Big Ten. I mean, I think SC is going to be fine in the Big Ten if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. So
yeah,
gotta turn it around. And I know
that it was windy early, but I mean, when was the last time you saw Lincoln Riley offense with 200 yards passing? I mean, you probably have to. I don't even know someone, if they have it in the chat. What did we get against Notre Dame last year? Because that might be a low as well. But being held under 20 points, that doesn't happen very often for a Lincoln Riley team. And remember, missed field goal, dropped balls, turnovers. A lot of people are angry, and rightfully so. I think Lincoln Riley should take a little bit of the blame. He's the head coach. But the young men have to execute, and it seems like they're just like in a fog. And like you said, that's coaching too. Yeah, it's coaching, but it's also player discipline. It's a team loss from coaching down to players. Hi, caller. What's your name? Oh, sorry. One more. Caller, hold on 1 second. Barry Fisher, thank you so much for the super chat. More concerned about the finish. We were pretty much in control until the pick. Minnesota was tough. The running back kept finding little creases, and it was hard to bring down. Absolutely, I agree with you. I was really stoked about the end, though. At the goal line. Hi, caller. If you can hang on 1 second, we're trying to get to these super chats. But yeah, at the goal line, that goal line stand, they fought it, man. That tush push thing is just momentum. It's like a rugby scrum, and they did a great job with that. And then one more super chat. We'll get to your caller. Hang on 1 second. Thank you so much, Lomancy. Lomancy's a big Hawkeye fan. Rough day for you as well. Respect the show. Want to support the show. Rome was not built in a day. Patience with the team and your woman. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very sage-like advice from Romansky. Coming in there with that. Appreciate you guys. Listen, tough loss. Let's feel that pain. But the sun's going to come up tomorrow. Danton Lynn is still our defensive coordinator. As much as some of you guys are angry right now, Lincoln Riley is still our head coach and our offensive coordinator, and Miller Moss is still our quarterback. We figure out this offensive line at some point this season, hopefully soon, before Penn State comes to town. We're right back in this thing. Are we looking? Can we? Did this really significantly hurt the playoff chances? It absolutely did. But they're still not out, believe it or not. I mean, if USC racks up some impressive wins down the line, there'll still be a conversation. USC is still in the hunt, possibly. Well, no, actually, with 2 losses.
This is rough and tumble. I don't know. Do you know the score of the Washington-Michigan? Is that done? Is that over?
That game should be over. Chat, who won that game? Really quickly, if you guys let us know. Hi, caller. Thank you for being so patient calling in. Rough night if you're a Trojan. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hi, caller.
Good evening. How are you? It's Avery calling all the way from Chehalis. How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
We got you, Avery. So what are your initial thoughts on the game?
So it's I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. There's some things that stood out that were glaring. The play, not gonna call any names, play made by number 4, picks the guy up, slams him, does etc., and then proceeds to celebrate, making it seem as if that was a play that was going to change the momentum. But in which that it did, it changed the momentum, but in a negative way. Got Jacoby, we got number 8 after the game, doing to me that's kiddish. Like I get it. Like if we were still playing in the Sandlot, like I get it. But I saw the beginning and the makings of this about a week ago, right? When the guys that weren't playing on the team that dressed, when they were tossing guys up on the sideline, it's just like, come on, man, like where we're at and where we're trying to get to, like little things like that. I know it might seem like nitpicking, but man, Harvey Hyde will have a field day with stuff like that, right? What do I see? I honestly see, I don't think Lincoln has grasped that he doesn't need to come here and reinvent the wheel. He needs to come in here and bring his offensive philosophy with what already embodies USC football. I thought by now 8 and 2 would be more of a duo with a sprinkle of 10 and 1, and that would get back to the old USC days, the play action, the slants, just the basics, right? So like we were trying to do a lot more than we need to do. We don't have the hand that will allow us to do the norm. Defensively, I like what I see, but I'm going to be all the way thorough with you. On both sides of the ball, it's a 3-year project.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, there are no first rounders on either side of the ball. I don't care what people's star ratings say and what they see from practice highlights. There are no first rounders on either side of the ball. So you can't compete for a national championship unless you have multiple first rounders on both sides.
I agree with you. You need to have those NFL guys on both sides of the line. I think that we may have those, but I think that a couple of those guys are a bit young. I think that I've said a couple times, way over my skis about this offensive line to begin the season. They really are not ready. They're showing it. They're going to need to get seasoned. They're going to need to improve. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They're not playing playoff or even Big Ten championship level offensive line play right now. They're far from it. And that's what's really stopping this team. I mean, look, you guys, hey, this is Avery. Usually we keep you guys for a while, but we have 14 people lined up. Oh, no, sorry. My bad. That's the wrong one. We have 7 people lined up. So let me say goodbye to you and answer your question off the air. I appreciate you calling in. But USC really finished up the game. Interception, punt, interception in the fourth quarter. Now, granted, the last interception, it was kind of desperation, so we could probably wash that one away with only less than a minute left. But if you go to the middle of the game, it was touchdown, and then that fumble. It was that fumble that we had. The guy put his helmet right on the ball, you guys. It wasn't like he was loose with the ball. It was a great hit. Helmet on the ball, right on his arm and the ball. Ball pops out, fumble. But then they get the ball back again. They get a field goal at the very end of the half. They come right out of the half, that middle. They stop them. I'll go, here we go. SC stops them. They deferred. They get the ball to start the second half. They stop them. They get the ball back. They take the ball right down and get a touchdown. But then the offensive line doesn't contain the outside, comes in, gets her hand on Miller, easy little pop-up, interception. And that really, from that point on, SC just could not get on track on offense. So only having 3 possessions in that, well, really 2 real possessions in that fourth quarter was really what did them in. Interception, then punt. I appreciate you calling, Avery. We got a lot stacked up as always. Thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, fight on, man.
Fight on, man.
Fight on.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of rough calls. I'm ready for them. Appreciate you guys. We got a super chat. I'm gonna grab this. Hi, caller. Hang on one second. We got a super chat. Definitely not a Trojan, but we're gonna honor his super chat. He's telling us that USC too soft, not ready for the big deluded fans. So again, Avery, Preston, I'll let you take over for this one because I think you said it best. It's not like we're getting destroyed here.
Hey, yeah, man. Big Ten fans, you guys can say whatever you want. I mean, these are winnable games, man. We're giving you guys these wins on the road in hostile environments. And just like Avery said, and just like how Tim talked about, like, we are depending on sophomores and redshirt freshmen. Like, these are like some of the most important players on this team. And I had to talk myself into that after the Michigan game. Like, dude, our receiver cores are all sophomores. The people, our left tackles are redshirt freshmen. Like, these guys are going to be much better players a year, 2 years from now. And they haven't even cracked the surface on how good they're going to be. So don't expect a Washington receiver core from last year to be what we're going to get this year. Just wait till next year. It takes time for these guys to become truly, truly elite. And when
Preston, you're doing these call-in shows. Nobody wants to wait till next year. But I agree.
I know.
Your message is spot on. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Paulie Walnuts from Los Angeles. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, Paulie? I saw those tostadas. Well done. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, the Trojans. You know what, man? It's definitely a blow to the chin, man. But the way I look at it is you got to believe in the process and what we're going through. I'm not going to be one of those guys. Of course, you get upset about certain things, and we know what went wrong. We're all smart enough, USC fans, football fans, to know, who kind of blew it and who didn't blow it. And I want to continue to believe in this process. The way I look at things is that these guys are still young men who have yet to be in these big games and experience things like that. And what I see is a young team that's struggling to find their identity. Yes, we have some veterans on there, but they're struggling to find in their identity. But there is some positives I can take of it. Does it hurt us that, we struggle up front and we can't get the deep ball out? Yeah, it does. But you know what? Those are things we got to figure out. Does it hurt us not being able to use the tight end because he's there helping? But, these are things we need to figure out. But I'll tell you right now, kudos to the two guards up front that were just blowing those holes open for Woody and Joyner. And I thought the way that Minnesota looked, they were gasping for air. I thought, man, we really did that. And then when he fumbled, they kind of they went away from that. And I thought that's kind of when things started going south for us. But, on a positive note, I'm just going to keep on believing that we're going to keep working at it. We definitely got to get started a lot quicker. And we need to figure some things out. And I'd like to see some of these young guys get a taste of that big time experience like that. I wouldn't mind seeing even Olsen in there getting some reps and some of these young guys they'll figure it out. They're too talented not to, and you just got to keep believing. Listen, gentlemen, you enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to eat a big fat bowl of ice cream and kind of just eat my sorrows away right now. But listen, man, fight on and like I said, we'll get it all figured out, man.
We will.
Have a great weekend, gentlemen. Fight on, baby.
Fight on, man. I wish I could take losses like Paulie. I mean, he means that. He's legitimate, a positive guy, and he's on to the next one. Appreciate Paulie calling in. You guys, listen. Remember one thing also. Caller, hold on 1 second. USC ran the ball really well. They averaged 6.2 yards a carry.
Great bright spot. Yeah,
like you said, Joyner, four carries, 44 yards, 11 yards a carry. And then you had Woody Marks carry the ball 20 times tonight for 134 yards, and a 6.7 average. So USC, so sack adjusted 182 on the game. I mean, solid performance. It's the little things. You can't the penalties, taking care of the ball. And again, there was only one drop, but the drop was a big drop on this game. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Russ from San Diego.
Russ, hey, thanks for calling in. Sorry, I know you're not in a good mood.
Yeah, man.
What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, just to piggyback off what you're saying, like let's quantify the hiccups. This was a minimum, I should say a maximum, a potential 18 points we left off the board from the Zachariah Branch, helmet doink, where the announcers are like, "Oh man, I guess the wind got a hold of that pass," and then you look at the replay, it hits him literally in the face mask. We go to the fumble at the end of the second half. Now we did get the ball back from another fumble and kick a field goal, so we did put points on the board, but we left the potential 4 off. And then there's that first interception, which, by the way, was on a 3-man rush. They rushed with 3 people. They got to Miller in 2.5 seconds, and it caused an interception. And so that's a potential 18 points we left off the board. And this, for as better as this team plays, like overall, it seems like we have, like, where last year's Trojans, we would just play like below average the whole game. This year, it's like we played very good for 95% of the game, and then it's just like, oh, let's just cram like a quarter of bad football into one catastrophic play, sort of thing. So, we need to clean up these sort of catastrophic mistakes. This game was ready to be put away. If Miller doesn't throw that interception because our offensive line can block for 1 more second, at the very least, we get a field goal attempt from a hot kicker who just set a PR, would probably, at least, probably make that. And, we have all the momentum in a 10-point lead. So, that was, you guys could break that down. The thing that's really bugging me is that we go into these games that we know, like, our opponent is treating this like the Super Bowl, and we just never seem to be able to emotionally match that. And it's getting very frustrating. Like watching PJ, you have PJ Fleck, this guy is wearing like yoga pants and a yellow tie under a pullover fleece. He looks like a clown. He's out there going crazy.
All right, Russ.
Team's going crazy. Minnesota rushes the field for this game. I'm sure this is a big win for them, but like every team rushes the field when they beat us. Like, when are we going to match that energy? We don't take these games personally.
I got you. I got Russ. Russ
is offended that they have to play a team from California.
We got you, Russ.
We going to match it?
Russ, buddy, we got you. Point absolutely taken. They need to match the energy.
Sorry.
No. Hey, listen, I like the passion. Believe me, I'll be there soon, probably. I we have to realize is one, they were jacked up for this game, and then they were coming off an emotional loss. There's that added point to it. And USC, as USC fans, they might call us arrogant, but we always have a target on our back wherever we go. It's always been that way. Whether it's in the Pac-10, Pac-12, and now going into the Big Ten. Don't tell me that they look at USC coming in there as they would see like a Wisconsin coming into play. I'm with you, and USC has to find a way to match that energy, Preston.
Yeah, people fear this logo, man. Like, so they're gonna play the game of their lives every time they play against USC. We got to be jacked up. Whatever we were told and ready for going into that LSU game, that's how we have to come out every week. This team has to come out like that every week because everybody wants to get us. New conference, people want to make a statement. They want to shut us up and show us that we don't belong here. So you gotta be ready to go, man, for anything and everything.
And that's going to be an emphasis, Russ. That's a great call. Appreciate we've missed your calls for a while. You haven't called in a while. Be calling again. We'll be here. I'm
back.
Yeah.
I'm back, baby.
All right.
You guys are getting sick of me again.
No, I'm never get sick of you, Russ. Great call. Appreciate you calling in, and I appreciate the passion too. We got to move on, though. We got a bunch of calls, but thank you so much for calling in. Fight on, Russ. It'll get better. Don't worry, man. We're working on that. All right. So you guys, listen, in the chat, the awesome conversation in the chat, but let's not repeat ourselves. All right. Let's not just spam the chat because that gets a bit annoying. Appreciate everyone being here, including you Sooner fans who are having like a second holiday right now because SC lost a game. We always see you guys. Appreciate you being here. We always see you guys after a loss. Hi, caller. What's your name and where? Oh, sorry. Really quick, caller. Hang on one second. Thank you to Will Jones for the super chat. Appreciate you being here and supporting the channel. Fight on, and hope we see you here. Call number right here, Will, 888-997-4539. Love to hear thoughts on the game. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Tim, it's Robbie.
Robbie, LBC Robbie. How you doing?
What's up, y'all?
What's going on?
It's a rough
Let
one.
me get this out the way. Preston, I've never met your acquaintance, but you're very impressive.
Thank you.
Young
Nice
man, young brother, and nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you got make sure you check it out. Preston, what's the name of your channel again?
Preston's Paradise on YouTube and Fight on Preston on Twitter.
You guys, if you don't have him on Twitter, or if you haven't subscribed to him, I don't know what you're doing. He did a great preview for this game, and a lot of it kind of, unfortunately, some of the things he was worried about kind of came true in the game. So,
Yes.
thank you, Robbie. What are your thoughts on the game?
That's what I'm saying. He's a smart young man because his and mine were kind of the same. I don't want to make too much of this because I'm really kind of still pretty happy with where this team is overall. As far as the chat people and the angry fire rally people, I want to convert this, and I don't want to talk about when I don't want to talk about anything. I want to compare it to when Sark and Lane Kiffin were coordinators under Carroll and not our coaches. This just kind of like it's either all going high power, fast, bullets flying, everything's working, or it's not. And Raleigh kind of doesn't have the same kind of problem adjusting to what's what because they were averaging 8 yards a touch on the ground and then went away from it in the red zone when you need to be in charge of short yardage. And as you said, the drops are, it's untimely, but that shouldn't be the difference or the difference in the tone of the game, which it unfortunately ended up being. But the bottom line is this team's not going anywhere with these two tackles, guys. And it's just not. And just anything we do is going to be bonus and be happy. But if we did make it to the playoffs, it would get even worse.
You threw me a curveball there, Robbie. Sorry. You threw me a curveball there. I thought you said this team's not going or me. I thought you were saying that USC is here to stay. I'm not even going to put them up here, but there's a lot of fans, and I can see what schools they're from. Listen, what are you doing here? If we're nobody, how come you're in my chat right now? So appreciate you all being here. I'll be very clear on that one. But USC is here. USC we had a brand new defensive coordinator in the spring. I don't know if anyone follows football, but it does take a little bit of a while for a team to get up to speed. USC is just going to get better. And you know what? You guys might mess up. You might, and SC has a couple of losses. You might have Danton Lee here longer, and that's the last thing you're going to want. You're going to want this guy to move on as fast as possible. So USC clearly has some issues on the offensive line, Robbie. You're saying, but these guys are young. Got to give them some room, And remember, it's we see one guy missing a tackle play, but it's a team line, and there's physical beats, there's mental beats, and there's a lot of things in between. And this team on the offensive line needs to figure it out because that's the one unit really that's kind of limiting my expectations for this program at this point. But Robbie, listen, thank you. We're stacking up a little bit again. Thank you for being a loyal caller. You were like one of the first people ever to find us. Appreciate you. And if you like Preston, he'll be starting to show off next week. I'll be at the Coliseum. Preston's going to open it up, and then I'm going to join him a little bit later from the Coliseum. So make sure you're tuning in for that. All right, Robbie?
As long as you're in the press box where you belong, Tim, I'll be just fine. Thank you, brother.
I'll be somewhere. All right. Take care. I don't know where I'll be able to film from, but I'll be filming somewhere. All right. I'm not sure if I missed a super chat. I don't think I did. You guys appreciate the messages and the comments. You guys, if you haven't already, I'm terrible at self-promotion for this channel. If you guys are liking the content, we're going to be doing live shows right away after the games. So if you're enjoying the content and you want to tune in, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. It also helps us out a lot. Hi, caller. What's your name? Oops. Wait, we're waiting for a caller. I don't know why we're waiting for a call.
Michigan lost to Washington, by the way. So
that's if you saw it. Moose's comment there. Moose is a big Michigan fan.
Yeah.
They.
I mean, we have 2 losses in conference now, so it's like kind of like but
we gotta start we gotta start hoping everyone beats each other up.
Exactly.
That's gonna be helpful. I'm kind of worried because we have for some reason we have people in the call queue and I don't have calls coming through. So
is it froze?
Hang on 1 minute, folks. So Preston, while I figure this out, so if you want to break down if you have anything as far as players, so look, we know we lost, and we know there's some issues, but who was your standout player of the game? So who really? There were a couple of guys on my list, but I'm sure we're kind of gonna overlap on this. But who did you see in this game that really gave their all and really gave USC a chance to win this game?
I think Makai coming back off that injury made some great plays. That play on that 3rd down, how he kind of skirted around those tacklers and got that 1st down. I thought that was big. We got gashed from the ground a lot, but I think Gavin Meyer with that pass batted down at the beginning of the 4th quarter. I think that was a big time play. And on offense, I think Woody Marks. It was really his day to have. I mean, over 100 yards on the ground, gave him 20 carries. Those were the bright spots. Deuce Robinson had a good game as well. Made some big catches, one up the middle, and then he had the touchdown. But those were the players that popped with me. Also, Nate Clifton. Nate Clifton made some great plays as well with the fumble and a couple of times getting in the backfield on some tackles for losses. So that's the unfortunate part. It's not like we just get obliterated. There was a lot of bright spots within this game. So you kind of leave, with a loss, obviously, but not feeling too terrible about what the prospects will be for the future of the season. But we definitely have a lot to work on. So,
yeah, that's a message that I'm trying to get to some people. Realize, yes, we lost the game. USC is upset. I believe they're a 7 or 8 point favorite for this game. Going to Minnesota, continue to start slow, continue to have issues on the offensive line. But if you're watching Quentin Joyner and Woody Marks, both those guys we just highlighted, they ran their butts off. And like you said, we talked about, so who are we missing? Clearly, everyone knows that we didn't have Bear Alexander. He's no longer with the program, right? Would we miss him that much on the defensive tackle? And you said something that was really interesting during the game, and I kind of agree with you. You want to elaborate on that?
As far as the D linemen,
the D tackle position.
Yeah, the D tackles were making plays. I mean, Gavin Meyer made a lot of plays. Nate Clifton made a lot of plays. And we had some great 4th down stops as well throughout the course of the game. So, they have to get used to this new rotation. Playing more snaps. They got to get, it's something that you got to get used to both in practice and during games. So I think they've been adjusting because they're a lot thinner on the lines right now. But yeah, it wasn't all bad tonight. There was definitely some good things that happened.
Yeah, the issues were not in the A gap tonight. I mean, it was these are going outside. They were the long run did bust out off tackle, but I mean overall inside USC did a fairly good job up front, I think, in this game. And but I think you did feel just that overall, like Eric Gentry just making that play kind of difference, in a close game like this. Not having him in there again, I wanted full disclosure. They were missing their top tackler from their team linebacker as well. But it would have been interesting to see, what the impact that Eric Gentry, if he had been healthy and able to play, would have made on this game. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah. This is Mike, man. I'm calling from Seattle, man.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
I'm calling. I'm actually a University of Illinois alum and fan, and I'm just going to tell y'all, welcome to the Big Ten.
Okay.
Y'all came in talking smack like it was all sweet. Listen, man, I've been watching Big Ten football since 1978. I've seen terrible Purdue teams beat Ohio State. I've seen terrible Illinois teams go in and beat Ohio State. A Michigan struggle on the road. It is extremely tough to win on the road in the Big Ten. I don't care who you are. And that's why Ohio State people talk, it's only 2 teams, Ohio State and Michigan. No, it's not. Ohio State is good because they can go on the road and beat teams. If you come on the road in the Big Ten, and you're gonna find this out about basketball too. Big Ten basketball is extremely tough to win on the road in Big Ten basketball. It's gonna be a dog fight. I don't care what your ranking is. I don't care if you're the last team in the Big Ten, and you're gonna have a dog fight when you go on the road and play any team in the Big Ten. And it's not just you. Oregon is gonna get theirs too. They're gonna get beat once they start going on the road. Once they leave the West Coast, they're gonna get theirs. Washington won tonight, but they won against Michigan, but they on the road in the Big Ten, they getting beat. So I mean, it's just not. You're not just gonna walk in and roll your helmets out and think it's two teams, Ohio State and Michigan. It's not like that. You can get beat by any team on any Saturday in the Big Ten. So you just got to buckle up because this is not going to be your last loss. Penn State going to get some of that, and you're probably going to lose again when you go on the road. So, like I said, welcome to the Big Ten, USC.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, great call. Appreciate you calling. But let's go over a couple of things. One, as Preston's brought over a couple of times, it ain't like you guys are smacking USC around.
Yeah,
great wins, really nice wins. Full credit to Michigan. Full credit to he hung up. Full credit to Michigan. Full credit to Minnesota. But we're talking about last minute losses, and I got to be honest with you, dude. USC is kind of shooting itself in the foot. I don't see the Big Ten, even on the road, taking it to USC.
Absolutely. And I think in college football today, no matter where you go, any conference in America, you can get got on the road. You got to strap up and play. Nobody's sitting here saying, we're just going to roll out and it was going to be an easy dub against all these. Nah, man, you got to play the game of football. It's a game of inches. It's a hard game to play.
He's got a decent point. I get it. I think that the road travel and the teams we're going to play, the style of football we're going to play in the Big Ten is going to be different than the Pac-12. However, I got news for you. We don't take a second seat to Michigan historically or ever. We don't take a second seat to Ohio State historically or ever. If they can do it, I know you're Illinois, and I'm not too smack here, but USC is not Illinois.
Yeah.
USC is Michigan. USC is Ohio State. And USC historically has a winning record against both those programs. I have mad respect for both programs. I've talked about it a million times. Ohio State is that program that probably has the highest floor of any program over the past 40 years. They just consistently win. They have athletes. They put guys in the NFL. Great program. But that's USC too, man. I don't know. We're not Illinois. I'll just flat out say you came at us pretty hard there. So you talk real to me. I'm going to talk real to you. USC is not Illinois. We are not these other teams. Of course, we're going to lose. Of course, Ohio State's going to go. Ohio State's going to go in and lose to a game in Iowa, maybe that they're not supposed to lose. Right? That's going to happen on the road sometimes. But USC's not there yet. No one here on this channel, and pretty much none of the fans I've talked to said we're going to sort of walk in and we're going to own the conference. But I'll tell you what, we don't take a second seat to anybody, and I'll stand behind that at all times. I don't know about you, Preston.
Absolutely not. And I know it's not the time to, talk smack, whatever, but I don't fear none of these teams in the Big Ten. I mean, I watched that Penn State UCLA game. I mean, that was a game for a long time. So, Penn State ended up getting it done, but I don't fear these teams. I mean,
no, nor should we. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, Tim? This is Mario out here in Silver Lake.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, Mario.
Hey, man, it's a somber Saturday.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a little tough to take. But you know what? The reality is, it's like someone said, or I think it might have been you earlier. This is Dylan's first full season. Actually, not even full season. First season as a defensive line coach, and things are going to settle in, especially, given might transpire this offseason. I think that there's going to be positive changes. But I think one of the things that really, really hurt USC in this game, and that is also got to take into consideration, no one can play a error-free game. What you're hoping for is that your mistakes don't kill you. And I think that our offensive line, for whatever reason, and I've kind of been high on them, but then I keep on seeing these little bonehead plays or just somebody beating you. Like when you're rushing three and they get to the quarterback, and I think that was Mason Murphy that allowed that one hit on our QB where that pass got intercepted. Those little things like that are such game changers. And it's just so I don't know what the word I don't know how to put it, but it just destroys any momentum that you can carry. It just does. I'm looking at this coming week, and I'm thinking, look, if this doesn't motivate you, that you lost to this team at home even when you were favored at their house, right? And the fact, like you said earlier, they're celebrating like rushing the field when they beat us. That says a lot. And I think that needs to be talked about in the locker room is that, man, you got to get up because everybody knows who you are historically. We don't take a backseat to Ohio State. We don't take a backseat to Michigan. And everybody knows that. And if anybody thinks that we do, look how people react when they win. That tells you that is an accomplishment.
You know what,
so
Mario?
One of the things that really gets me.
Mario, I wish you had called before because then I would have asked Mike. I would have said, Mike, do they storm the field in Minnesota when they beat Illinois? They probably don't.
No.
So,
exactly.
So that's a great point, Mario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent. Here's the thing. After this game, you have to have an absolute short memory because you don't have time to lament. You have Penn State coming in this coming weekend, and you don't have time. The only thing you have time to do is scheme and see how we're going to stop their running game. Hopefully, does anybody know how the thing is going with Gentry? His injury?
There's a lot. I don't want to speculate on. There's a lot out there. We're going to find. I think we'll know in the next. We'll know this week.
Next few days.
We'll know.
And I've also heard. I've also heard rumblings about. And I'm not going to say where it comes from because we don't even know who it is. But there might be another red shirt coming on the defense. And I look at that, and there are rumblings. I get that there's a certain sense of maybe yes, maybe no, but whatever. But the reality is, how did we get here? Like the first domino to fall was Bear Alexander. And I think that whether we like to admit it or not, or think that we're going to be fine, all these things are cumulative. They have a cumulative effect on the defense. And I think that this game, I just had no idea that we were going to be so porous in the middle. That was one of the things. But for us to score 17 points, that's not right. Last season we talked about, hey, if we could just hold somebody to 20 something points, we could win a lot of games because we were scoring 30 plus every game. So this year we get a defense that holds people into the 20s, and something's wrong offensively.
Well, okay. So Mario, really quickly, last year we were scoring in the 30s, but there's two things, and this is not a slight on Miller Moss. We had Caleb Williams, and also we weren't playing defenses. I mean, I have tongue in cheek taken some shots at the Big Ten tonight, but we're playing some legitimate defenses. I mean, these defenses here are pretty damn good. Any defense, Mario, hold on. Any defense is going to look great when you don't have a cohesive offensive line. It's just the way it's going to be, and until USC figures that out, they're gonna have a lot of games like this. Yeah. All right, Mario. Listen, I appreciate you. Mario, really quick, you want to wrap it up, but we gotta go.
Go get the other guys out there, man. Fight on, and we'll talk later.
No. Fish. Sorry, I don't want to rush you that much. Finish your thought, then we got to move on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to let people know that iron sharpens iron. And that's why when people talk about that we shouldn't be in the Big Ten, I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that the only thing it can do to us is make us better. So
100%.
On that note, I will let it go.
You went out with a banger. I'm glad we hung up for that one because you're spot on, Mario. Thank you for calling in. Didn't want to rush you. It's just I want to honor people waiting. Thank you so much, Mario. Great call. Hope you call back again soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. So callers, we're gonna get to you. I don't know what your schedule is over there. I know you're 3 hours ahead, Preston. But you let me know.
Maybe about 15.
Okay.
If that's possible.
All right, so let's get through these calls pretty quick then. Hey, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dan calling from LA.
Hey, Dan, how you doing?
Pretty good. First of all, that guy that was talking about basketball, just want to remind him that, excuse me, I think Michigan State's the only team that ever wins a championship out of Big Ten in basketball. They can remind me if I'm wrong, but I think Illinois they got there. North Carolina smacked them. And then he wants to talk about how tough the Big Ten is in basketball. Just want to remind him, Juju Watkins' first game in Power 5 was against Ohio State, and Ohio State dropped 30 on them. So that's neither here nor there. But I just have two questions about the football game. Number one, from just watching the past few games, why is Woody Marks starting over Quentin Joyner? Like, it's obvious on the tape that Quentin Joyner should be the starter. And then the second question would be, because of our offensive line issues, and I wish Miller Moss, he gets a lot of clear lanes, but he won't even take the run and just slide for first down. He throws it away, or throws it. You think it'd be time to play Jaden Miava, or even give him time, because with a bad offensive line and a mobile quarterback like that, it'd probably work better for him. And I know all the talk of the spring and camp is that Miller Moss beat him out by a hair. It may be too soon for that, but we have seen Lincoln Riley sit. I forgot his name, for Caleb Williams in Oklahoma, but I don't know if it's What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't. What's that?
I think it's talking about Rattler.
Oh, Rattler at Oklahoma.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah. So I this loss is not on Miller Moss. I don't really know how to say that. This is Miller Moss's team, I think, and until basically he shows that it's not his team. The MVP of all fans always is the back, especially USC fans for some reason. Going back to I remember Mark Sanchez. I mean, everyone loves the backup quarterback, really, and I see what you're saying. You think maybe we have a couple losses, it's time to switch it up. But Miller Moss at this point, I believe, gives us the best chance to win. With Lincoln Riley's system. Remember, he's been here for all 3 years. This is his third year in his system. So Miava just got here. I think that he has a great upside, but this is Miller's team. We're not losing because of Miller's play. This is not Miller's issue. So if Miller, I know there's a couple of interceptions, but the first interception, we know that wasn't on Miller. That's because his tackle got beat. The guy hit his arm, threw a pop-up. And that last one, it was just a desperation throw. I think maybe Miller wants that throw back. There was still time to have a couple throws. But Deuce Robinson is like a big, gigantic lollipop right there, and right there at the goal line. And Deuce comes down with that ball a lot. Just unfortunately, on this time it didn't. And I'm sure he wishes he had that throw back. Your thoughts, Preston?
Well, yeah, he spoke on maybe starting Quentin in front of Woody. I would say I like Woody starting. I think Woody does start because, first off, the experience, the pass catching ability, and pass protection ability, being able to block, and just I don't want to single Q out here, but Q had the fumble, right? So that's a maturity thing, right? Woody has done a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. So,
and you know what?
That's why I would say that.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley even came out and said that Quintus looked great with the ball in his hand. But he alluded to the fact that it was what he's doing. He doesn't have the ball. He made that he flat out said that. I love what I've seen, but also it's kind of hard to keep Woody off there because there was a play early in the game. It was an important play, and Woody reaches back with one hand again and grabs the ball that's behind him, gets the ball and gets positive yards. And Woody has a couple great runs. And early it seems like he wasn't letting his block set up, but then once he did, he had a great. He rushed for 130 plus yards tonight. And I get you. I do get you. You say, well, yeah, but Quentin Joyner had 11 yards a carry. That doesn't really equate. And I do like the way, listen, there's no bigger, if you go back and watch the tape, there's hundreds of hours of me talking about Quentin Joyner. I love Quentin Joyner, but Woody Marks is a great back as well. And so, you're going to see the evolution. And it sounded like Riley was kind of trying to light a fire under Quentin and say, hey, it's not the way you carry the ball. It's, what's your blocking? What's your pass blocking like? What's going on in that situation? So great call. Appreciate Dan. Thank you so much. Any last words?
Just get ready for Penn State. It's a 12-team playoff, so we just need to win the rest of our games.
Absolutely. Fight on. Thank you, Dan. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Fight on.
Okay.
All right. So we got 4 more calls coming in, and then we're gonna get Preston out of here. Really quick, caller, hang on 1 second. So, why has everyone overlooked how bad our D line is? I'm I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to rewatch it. I didn't see a whole lot of Will. I wish you were. Will, call in. Kind of explain this one to me. I think there were some issues on the defense. The defense did not play a lights out game. They played well. I think the defense played good enough to win. I think the offense is really, honestly, in my opinion, is what kept USC from winning this game. I really do. The turnovers.
Yeah, you can't say that. You got to understand the situation right now. When we got two guys and Clifton and Meyer, sub 300 pounders, and you got Kobe Pepe in there, and they're rotating. It's going to be tough. So you will get gashed at times, but they definitely made some big important stops tonight as well. So I'm not going to sit here and say our D line is just bad, because they're playing a great effort and they're making plays as well. So I wouldn't say that.
Well put, Preston. And one more, Danny Kennedy, longtime supporter of the channel. Not only appreciate the super chat, but also Danny, you've been a member as long as I can remember. I'm still waiting for you to call in. So highly disappointed in this team right now. I'm not as gung ho as I've been. 9-3, maybe 8-4. I would just simply say that's a possibility. Your numbers there are a strong possibility if they can't figure out the offensive line. I'll just leave right there. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm in the chat as Fumar Mota. I'm in Vegas, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of despondent, but I really appreciate you guys. I'm sad but I feel like everybody's kind of giving me a little bit, to kind of get over my sadness. As far as the basketball goes, just on a tangent really quick, Indiana won, Michigan won. Michigan went to back-to-back in 92, 93 as far as Big Ten basketball. I think Woody probably starts because his ability to pick up blitzes. Usually that differentiates starting running backs from second string. It's not really what they do with the ball in their hand, like you said. It's blitz recognition and picking that up because you got to protect the quarterback first and foremost. I don't know what's going on with Zachariah Branch, man. I don't know if this is scheming, but we got to get him the ball. Like get him the ball in space, move him in the backfield, move him in the slot, some reverses. Yeah, man, I'm just it's difficult to look for silver linings. I despise moral victories, but you guys are speaking the truth. I think USC is beating themselves. I think we've lost more games than we've been beat. And I think that's been consistent with the Michigan game, the Michigan loss, and the loss today. I don't really think that anybody's really just put the smack down on SC. I just think that those mistakes and crucial moments, that's the difference between winning and losing, especially on the upper level. But, you guys are speaking the truth. We don't take a back seat to anybody. There's no fear with Michigan, no fear with Ohio State. We're SC, but I just need to see more. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's personnel, but we just have to take it up just a notch. The delay of game, the not getting the ball past the ground, the line of scrimmage, the fumbles. There's these key mistakes that we're making at crucial times, and that's the difference between winning and losing when you're when you're an upper echelon team, which I believe that we are. I don't think that we're Ohio State. I don't think that we're on that level, but I think we were the second tier. But we're not playing like a second tier team. We're playing like a tier 3 team right now. And I don't know if that's Lincoln or the personnel, but I'm just hoping that we figure it out and turn it around.
I can't say your screen name out loud. You know why? But what was your name again? I can't say your name in the chat.
No.
Don't repeat it. Don't repeat it. What's your name?
Oh, okay. Oh,
I know what
Carter.
that means. What?
Okay. Yeah. Carter. Yeah. My bad.
Carter.
I wasn't trying to be weird. I was just saying that's who I was in the chat.
No worries.
So I apologize.
No worries, Carter. I just wanted to call you by your name, and I wasn't going to call your screen name. I mean, you make a lot of great points. You can. We saw it in the Michigan game. You can make a lot of great plays, and then you give up those big dash plays, and it just changed the complexion of the game. I think USC made a lot of great plays in this game, but they continue to have those moments, those lapses on both sides of the ball that are keeping them from winning. And that's football. That's these guys have to keep it man, because they look so good in second halves this season. They really have. So tight, so switched on. Yeah. This was the first time it just seemed like there was a hangover that went from the first half into the second half. I mean, it started out strong and then just kind of carried on. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Preston?
Yeah, man, 60-minute game, very important. You got to capitalize, and you can't you won't win in this conference shooting yourselves in the foot. The second we stop hurting ourselves, we'll be completely fine. But
yeah, and Carter, by the way, I mean, the guy was on a roll. I meant to bring up. I guess he's never heard of Bobby Knight either. So I mean, I know they play some basketball in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Great call. I mean, really good call. Let's hope they figure it out, because again, this team has a lot of potential. A lot of people are angry with the coaching staff. You guys, we have a great coaching staff. I don't really know where you want to point. The offensive line's got to improve, but really right now, that's the only issue I have with the team right now is them tightening that up. Yes, there were issues, but the team as overall didn't play well enough to win for the points you brought up. You have to play like Preston said, 60 minutes of football. Great call. Carter, we got to move on because we got to get Preston out of here. Appreciate you calling in. Hope you call in again.
Appreciate you guys. Fight on.
Fight on.
Thank you. Fight on.
All right. Preston, you can take one or two more?
Yeah. No problem.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Danny Kenny came in with another super chat. Thank you so much, Danny, for your long-term membership and another super chat. And it's not on Miller Moss. It's on the whole team and the coaches. And I think the whole team and the coaches would agree with your great point. Thank you, Danny. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Victor. I'm from New York. I just trudged all the way back from Penn Square, like wearing my USC jersey. Just the people looking at me like, "Hey, what's up?" I mean, that was tough. That was a tough one. But yeah, dude, like the way I really felt about it, the fourth quarter, that 4th and 4, I think I'm like, you gotta go for this, man. I don't know why Lincoln Riley doesn't go for that. I know hindsight's 20/20, but at least if they're gonna score or kick a field goal or something, they don't bleed the clock. And I feel like that once we decided to punt that, I kind of just saw it on the wall. I didn't think we're gonna make a stop that give us enough time because they're running it down all over us. But yeah, this game, I know you said you don't really want to blame any of the coaches, but I'm sorry, I got to point a finger at Josh Henson, man. I feel like our offensive line is talented, they're big, they're good, but coaching, man, you gotta you gotta put them in good positions to make block snap after snap after snap. And this wasn't even a case of they made one mistake and we suffered for that out of a perfect game. What's his name? Mason Murphy just kept on getting lit up from the edge on a 3-man rush. And I'm like, come on, you're a tackle, you're a big guy. You should not be getting beat like that routinely. And I mean, again, to your point, I don't put this on Miller Moss at all. I think Miller played really well. The second half, coming out, we were running that ball so well, and I was like, okay, it's offensive line. They're cooking. They're doing something. But I mean, pass blocking part of the game. Your offensive lineman, you got two jobs. You're run blocking, pass blocking. Run blocking, I think it was really good in the second half. I missed the first quarter mostly, but the pass blocking was just not good. And I don't know. I hate to be Debbie Downer, but I feel like we're not a good traveling team. And maybe I'll feel even worse next week. So, whatever happens at Penn State. So let's see. But my final thought is just this whole second half team thing. I never bought it. I don't think believing we're a second half team is a good way to even think as a fan or as a member of the team. You got to go from first quarter, get some points on the board, establish something, make them respect you, and well, we'll see. The very worst is I'll just consider this a rebuild year. We got to get serious in the trenches, man. This is Big Ten football. Can't keep.
Hey, I didn't catch your name really quick before you go. I missed the first part. You kind of cut out. What was your name?
Victor from New York.
Victor, great points. You're not the only person that's really kind of aiming their crosshairs, Preston, at Josh Henson. He's caught a lot of strays this year. It's we're talking about a unit consistently. It's gonna questions have to be asked about the coach that's on that position as well. And yeah, second half team. I mean, listen, when I watched USC marched right down the field. And then on a 3rd and short, the guy drops the ball, and then we go to kick a field goal. We missed a field goal. I said, I'm not kidding. I said, oh boy, here we go. Because you're on the road. You know, you're 8-point favorites on the road. They had a rough loss. They came back strong against Michigan. I'm not going to say that I thought this was going to be a dogfight it turned into, but when I saw that start, I'll tell you what, I did, Preston. I was kind of like, oh, here we go.
No, me too. And people were talking about Henson and the offensive line. And our offensive line, to me, I spoke about it earlier as well. Like, we're not being beat down or physically dominated. It's just a recognition of a blitz. It's a recognition of what's going on in front of you. And it's communication. And I don't know if it's film study. I don't know if we're just not prepping going into the game weeks. I don't know what it is, but it's execution as well as coaching and things are happening on the field. So hopefully they can get right and buckle down, because things are not going to get any easier.
Agreed. Well said. Thank you, Preston. And thank you, Victor. Great call. Appreciate it. Hope you guys call. If you'll be calling again next week with a lot more excited, you guys. The next week won't be such a somber occasion, okay? Appreciate you, Victor. Fight on.
Yeah.
And you wear that jersey. You don't let anyone make you take that jersey off, Victor. You wear that with pride.
Absolutely.
Oh no. Hey. I'll never take this jersey off in public nowhere.
That's right.
I mean, make me proud to wear it. You know what I mean?
That's right, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you. Thanks. Yeah. All right. We got two more, Preston. You've been a gamer. Appreciate you. We'll move along. I know it's late over there.
No, we good.
And you know what? And one of them is gonna be a great call. Be a late. It's gonna be my dad. So here we go. Dad, what's going on?
Hi, Tim and Preston. Great to see you. And you're the fine addition to this program.
Mr. Prangley, how you doing?
Comments already. So welcome. Really good. Welcome aboard. As I said the last time, carry on men of Troy to another victory by a score of 2 or 3. You look ahead. You don't look back. You take a loss like a champion, and we'll be champions eventually. And you got to realize, and I was going to bring this up the last 2 or 3 shows, but I was hesitant to say it because it was too negative. Every game is a championship game. You can't go into any game thinking, oh, these guys are a little bit easier. As Lou Holtz used to tell his team, guys, I want you to treat this as the best team you play all year. Every game you tell them that. Because you don't want them to think, oh, this is a pushover. Nobody is a pushover, particularly the Big Ten. You can't give them credit. They won. Questionable refereeing sometimes, but they won. That's the way it's going to be, guys. SC has always been in a situation with the East Coast teams, with the SC teams and Big Ten teams, as a big threat to them on everything, including recruiting. And don't kid yourself. They want to beat us no matter who they are in that league. So be ready for it. Now, fight on. Don't pass it by. I want to see them packed for this Penn State.
That's right, Dad.
We're really worried about that one because we know we are. And so it's a big thing. So get ready for next week again.
All right, love you, Dad. Fight on. Great call, Dad. As always, nailed it. That's a man right there, you guys, that's watched 7 national championships. So he knows what winning at USC is.
Knows the ebbs and flows of the program.
and he's gonna watch another one. He knows it's coming. It's inevitable. We are USC. We figure out that offensive line. And the crazy thing is, caller, hang on 1 second. The crazy thing is, man, you're watching football right now. There aren't any world beaters, and I know we're talking about Ohio State like there's some like, we always joke about the 85 Bears, right? Their defense is really solid, really good. But I'm not overly impressed. It's not like they've been struggling. Penn State struggled for a while against a UCLA team that's really bad without their starting quarterback. So I mean, anything could happen. Anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Caller, hi. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Damien from Indiana.
Hi, Damien. Thanks for calling in.
I just wanted to springboard off the Moss conversation. I want to preface with saying I like Moss. I don't think they should replace him, but he does put a pretty low ceiling on the offense. I wouldn't mind Miava getting mixed in a little, because I think that Moss isn't going to go to the NFL next year. I think he's going to come back for his senior year, and I think that Miava is going to push a subject because he's not green. I mean, he was Mountain West Freshman of the Year. He has tools. He is raw. I think a year playing behind Moss, being in that system, I think he might be the guy. And I'm not hating on Moss. He does what he can. He's a system guy, but I think there's some legitimacy to the Miava talk.
Okay, so listen, I'm not throwing it out. Okay, I'm not saying that. Obviously, you lose 2 conference games, conversations are going to be had, right? But I'm guessing what I want to ask people that I was there. I was like 10 yards away when he had that crazy scrambling run for a touchdown, which truly, Caleb Williams-esque. It was beautiful the way he ducked, the way it looked like Caleb, just like a bigger version of Caleb, and then rolling out and getting into the end zone. Okay, but what is it about him specifically that you think? I mean, have you not been impressed with the way that Miller has been throwing the ball, how he's been hanging in the pocket, taking a beat down? Are you thinking that maybe because Miller moves, so Miller's not as athletic. He's not a Caleb, right? He's not a Miava, but he moves well in the pocket. There were times in this game where he moved up into the pocket and had some great balls. Mm-hmm. And his ball placement, there were a couple of weird ones, but I think it was pretty windy early in that game. I think the wind must have calmed down a little bit, but I mean, he's elite as far as like understanding the offense, reading the defense, and ball placement. Sure, there's gonna be some things that Miava does better than, but I'm just wondering, not even halfway through the season, what do you feel like we have to pull the plug and bring Miava in? Like, what do you look to see from Miava that Miller's not doing?
I mean, I am impressed with Moss. I think Miava would just open up the playbook. And I'm not even saying to pull Moss now, but I mean, he's small. I mean, the guy's tough as nails. He eats nails. I mean, I'm not unhappy with Moss. I think there's a reason we're only getting in the 20s. It's just there's a low ceiling, and the defense helps with that. But I don't know. He helps with the O-line too, because I don't know if that, I mean, they're going to have to patch that in the portal, right? Next year. I mean, he's not a great guy behind a bad O-line. I mean, he has been great, but like I said, I guess it's the ceiling is low on the offense. Is what I'm saying mostly.
Okay. Yeah, you give him. I think we're almost getting to a broken record about the offensive line, Preston. You know what I mean? If you give him time to throw, we're fine. But what's the problem? It's not Miller. It's the O-line. And I get your point, by the way. I do, Damien, get your point about the fact that okay, well then bring Miava in. But we don't want Miava running for his life because again, will he have that same recognition that Miller has pre-snap? Does he know the offense as well? Mm-hmm. Is it he's got a huge arm, great release. I mean, I love what I'm seeing, but is he ready? And one thing I'm not going to do, and it happens all the time on this show, people call in and question Riley's play calling. People call in and talk about, if Lincoln Riley thinks that Miller Moss is the best quarterback for this team, you guys, I don't want to sound like I'm just I'm some sunshine pumper because I'm not. I'm not happy. But if Lincoln, on one thing I'm not ever going to question, if Lincoln says this is my quarterback, dude, that's his quarterback. And you probably should listen to him because he's at practice. He knows what's going on in this team. And I know everyone's favorite player is the backup quarterback, and it's fair. And it's not like you're not making good points. Maybe he comes in. Someone made the comment about 2016. Are we saying Miava is Sam Darnold? Is that what we're saying at this point? I think everyone needs to just bring it down a notch, right? Sorry, Preston. Go ahead.
No quarterback is going to be successful behind an O-line. I don't care. I was in South Bend last year watching Caleb Williams run around for his life behind our offensive line. And it was Caleb Williams in South Bend. Like, that was last year. Caleb Williams against UCLA. I don't care how fast I don't care if you want a 4 flat. You're not going to be able to operate behind an offensive line in a blind side that can't block for you or a right side of the line. It's just how football works. It's not going to happen. Everybody's talking about Jaden Miava. Nobody talks about him throwing the ball. It's always about how he can be so athletic and run around behind. Nah, man, we got to stick behind Miller. Miller's the quarterback now. If Jaden gets in there, I'll get behind Jaden. But Miller's the quarterback now. Miller's the leader of the team. And I think we should be happy and blessed to have him as a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think I think the clown on this troll account here is for himself because he makes it seem like Caleb Williams. We cloned Caleb Williams, and like we made some 6'5", 300-pound Caleb Williams, and we had some wide receiver Caleb Williams. He's only one guy, and Preston, like you said, Notre Dame game, UCLA game. We saw what even a number 1 NFL draft pick, my friend, can do when you don't have an offensive line. So that comment, man, you're wearing that clown mask, nobody else. So I just want to put that out there. But Damien, you bring up good points. I'm sure all these things will be addressed. I mean, I think that maybe we need to look at it. I know everyone wants a quick fix. Oh, bring in the relief pitcher and everything will be fine. You know what I mean? I just don't think that might be. I could be totally wrong. I do not think that that's the case. But obviously, I appreciate you calling in, and that's why I tried to give you a chance to kind of back up what you're saying. And hey, like you're saying, maybe sometimes just bringing someone in, switching it up a little bit might be the change. But I'm with Preston. I don't think anybody, the way this offensive line is playing, is going to be successful. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. No, I get you. Moss is the guy this year. It's too late to take back that he's the guy this year. But I do think Miava's interesting. One more thing. Do you guys think they attack the portal hard for the O-line? I mean, they have to, right?
Press, you want to go first? I've been going first all night. You want to go first?
Yeah. I think they're definitely getting the portal and retool, because I mean, we have young pieces on this offensive line that these are the first times they're going to these environments or playing these teams. So they've shown a little good and bad. So I think we might step into the portal and get a few upperclassmen going into next year. I think that's definitely a possibility.
And before I answer that question, I want everyone, please, you guys have been here. We've had like this upwards of 600. Right now we have like 550 on here. Just floored. Appreciate all the support, whether you're a Trojan fan or not. Thank you for being here. Next week for Penn State, we are going to have a show. Preston is going to open it up. I will be joining after the press conference, and we will go live to talk about the game. Make sure, though, if you want to do that, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. It's right here. Do me a favor. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe. Then you can hop into the chat, talk away, and then, obviously hit that like button, and make sure if you are subscribed that you hit that notification so you know when we go live, because we may, who knows, maybe I can talk Preston and going live on a spur of a moment if we get some big news for SC. Appreciate you, Damien. Thank you so much for calling in. Again, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate. That's really how I believe, but there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I think there's a lot of fans out there that feel the same way about you and what you're saying about the Miava situation. Appreciate you and hope you call in again.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. Thank you. All right, Preston, we survived a show.
Yes, we
hope
did.
You enjoyed yourself.
I did. Man. It was a pleasure being here in the voice of college football. And yeah, man, thanks for the opportunity to talk some football. It's been a rough night, but it's been fun.
Can you hang out for like 1 minute? This is Willie Permont, is like one of our guys that calls, that's been a big supporter. Hey, listen, we were done, but I recognize you, man. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on the game really quick? We got to get Preston out of here. It's the middle of the night for him. Willie. Hello?
Willie.
Call, you there? Uh-oh. Call, are you there? Going once. All right. Well, I tried, Willie. I don't know what's going on your phone line. But Preston, again, I saw your stuff. Just so impressed with you, young man. Great show. You guys, one more time. I'm going to have it. I don't have it right now. Actually, do you want to go ahead and talk for a second? I'm going to drop you guys his information in the chat. I need 1 second. So give me a little fill time, Preston.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, guys, I appreciate you guys having me on the Voice of College Football. I love this show. Love what Tim does on here. Yeah, basically, you can find me on YouTube at Preston's Paradise. Just make a few videos on your previews or keys to the games on a weekly basis. Or even on Twitter, where I'm really most active on Twitter at Fight On Preston, where I bring up USC stuff from the past, nostalgic things. I'll talk about things I noticed on offense or defense with our players, and even highlight, things that players or coaches do outside or off the field in terms of like podcast interviews or certain takes that they have about the game of football and the USC program. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here helping out Tim, doing some post-game duties, and we'll see where things go.
Absolutely. It's been Exactly what I thought it would be, Preston. You're awesome. I dropped his channel. You guys, please go over there. If you've enjoyed Preston's work here, you can see him next week here for the Penn State game. Go ahead and check out his channel, subscribe. Again, if you would have had a lot of information going into the Minnesota game, if you just spent 10 minutes, listen to his preview of the game. Preston, I know that we're probably going to do the post-game show. I'm going to try to get you on. Maybe we have our call-in show as well during the week. I'll see what your schedule is like, and we're going to go from there. All right?
Sounds good, man.
Listen, Trojans, thank you all for being here one last time. If you're still here, over 500 of you guys, thank you so much. Rush lost to the Trojans, but remember, there's still more than half a season left. USC is going to have to figure out that offensive line, but when they do, when they play 4 quarters, there's nobody on our schedule we can't beat. Remember that, all right? Also, if you're wearing your jersey, you're walking away from Times Square, just you keep it on. You look proud, and don't let anyone talk down to you, any fan in the Big Ten telling us that we don't belong or we should be scared and shaking our boots, all right? So everyone, for Preston, I'm Tim. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to everyone really soon. Fight on, you guys.
Fight on.